Hi again, this is Genevieve from the blog gracefullyhome.com, and today I am sharing another installment for our This Week in the Hollow series. Despite some rain this week and some very chilly temperatures, we are still able to work outside and get some projects done. It's not uncommon for us to either hear a tree fall in the woods or see a tree that was newly fallen, and my husband will allow it to kind of sit for a while and cure a little bit, and then when he has time, he'll bring the truck around and he'll basically have his chainsaw and start to cut the logs into smaller logs for firewood, or if it's a nice straight trunk, he will bring it to a local sawmill and let them cut it into boards for us, and then we will allow it to cure here on the farm. And with lumber prices being very high right now, we're thankful that we do have the ability to cut some trees down that needed to be cut down or that have already fallen just naturally. So we had one that was very large that had fallen into our creek. My husband was determined to get that out of the creek. One, because it does cause some flooding, and also it washes away our driveway, which is just chert. So it's really important to kind of keep that area cleaned up. And so he was able to do that, and it took him a while because those logs were really big, and I think it was red oak, so it was heavy. It was just him. I was videotaping just to see the process and share it with you. And then I also was able to this week go out into the garden and really give it a cleaning. A lot of things in there obviously have already finished producing. Our asparagus ferns are still nice and green, so I'm waiting for those to get a little more brown before I cut those down. But pretty much everything else is done. And I'll be adding some mulch and then maybe trying to amend the soil a little bit. This week we also did a lot of our regular sourdough baking, and then we did a few simple sewing projects and some knitting, and we love our dishcloths. Let me show you what those look like. We love these dishcloths. Whenever we're really traveling, it's a great time for me to just sit, and instead of being on my phone, I will just knit a dishcloth, and it typically takes me a couple of hours for one, especially if I'm just sitting down. And I love these because they're super simple, and basically when you knit it, you are knitting like diagonally. So you knit this part and then you start to decrease to do the other end. It's super simple, but it is really functional. It is really sturdy. We get several years use out of it before somebody snags it. They do really well in the washing machine and in the dryer. And you know, if they start to kind of smell a little bit with some people, if it stays wet too long, like soaking wet, you can add a little bit of bleach to the load, and then it will be just fine. But they're really great. It helps to cut down on paper towels, and it's just a nice kind of natural tool that you can use to wipe up your counters, to wipe up any spills, your stovetop, and any other kind of cleaning thing. Today, what I'm working on is cutting these navel oranges and then putting it in our dehydrator. This dehydrator came from the folks at Le Chef, and this one is called L'Equip, and it's so nice because it works really well. I've used it a lot with making beef jerky. I've used it to make fruit leather. I've dried mangoes in it, our herbs fresh from the garden. With Thanksgiving coming up, I am going to cut these navel oranges for some decorations for the upcoming holidays. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in slices that are as uniform as I can, about 1/4 inch. So they're kind of thicker. I don't want a bunch of thin slices. We'll probably eat some of these as well, but some of it's going to be dehydrated for decoration, and we'll see how that goes.